definitely been treated unfair and unjust in many other areas of my life. I mean, a lot of situations where I was
mm,
profiled.
mm, mm.
And it's
And if
really
you,
sad to say, isn't it? It's really sad to say. It really is
mm,
in a time like this. This is 2020, and we actually have to sit and talk about being profiled.
yeah. I totally get you. And if you have you had to have had the talk? Because I've been watching a lot that as a parent, have you had to have the talk with Bryson and Brent? Have you
Yes.
had to have that?
Okay, so I want to tell you when I saw the George Floyd's video. It was
Mm,
late at night when it. This is when it
mm,
first came out. It was late at night. I was in my bed, and the video was sent to me, and I looked
mm,
at it that night and was like, what, blown away. I could not sleep that night, right? So I was tossing and turning all night. I wake up the next day and it was everywhere. Everybody was talking about
mm,
George
mm, mm,
Floyd, right? And that
mm,
night, the next night, I said to Greg, we have to text our boys. We have to text them. So
mm,
in the beginning, it was still all, unfolding, and I didn't know
mm,
everything that was happening or was
yes.
going to happen. And
Mm,
so
mm,
I text my baby because my baby is the youngest one. And I said to
mm,
him, listen to me. I don't know what's going on. This is when everything was very fresh. If a
mm,
police officer stops you, please
mm,
comply. At the time I didn't
mm,
know that George was trying to
mm,
comply with
mm,
whatever it is
mm,
that they're
mm,
saying.
mm,
So I was saying to my son, please follow the rules, please follow the instructions. If you cannot reach mom, I don't know, put your phone on Facebook, put it on Instagram. And the problem with that is, as a black mom, to have to tell my
mm.
young black son, if he gets pulled over by the police, to put your phone on Instagram or Facebook live so
Um,
that people can hear
mm,
you.
mm,
And that is
yeah.
what's crazy to me. My son,
Mm,
he's a young guy and he doesn't know. He's never had a rough life, as a lot of these young
yeah.
people have
Mm,
not.
mm,
So he doesn't
mm,
understand that. But these are the kind of things that we've had to say to our son. I called up my oldest son and said the same thing to him. Listen to me,
mm.
you have to comply. Then we later find out that was trying to comply. You
Was
can hear
complying.
him, yeah, you can hear him saying, I will get in the car. I will,
Mm,
because
mm,
somebody's in
mm,
the
mm,
background
mm.
telling him to get up or something. And he's
Get
saying,
in the car. Yeah.
yeah, get in the car. And he's like, I want to get in the car. I want to get in the car. And I go back to my sons and say to them, I want you to really look at this video. Okay. I want you to see
Mm,
what's wrong with this video here. And both of my sons
mm,
are looking at this video in horror. My husband has four boys from his first
mm.
marriage. We're having to have a
Yes.
conversation with all of our boys. We have boys. All
Mm,
boys are here. And so
mm,
we're having to
mm,
talk to all of our boys about what to do if a police stop you. These are grown men. But as you can see, George was a grown man. We're having to tell our grown men what to
mm,
do if a police stops you. And to me, that's just unfair. I don't,
I thought
are
so.
there other nationalities out here telling their children what to do when the police pull them
Mm,
over?
mm,
That they're probably telling them the normal things to do, like make sure
yeah.
you have your license and registration,
Mm, mm,
make sure you
mm,
probably answer yes or no, sir. We're sitting up
mm,
here telling
mm.
our kids about, go on Facebook Live, call your mom,
Yeah.
put your recorder on. I mean, we're having to do all of those things to save their lives. So
Mm,
it's a very different thing, and it's very tough to talk to your young child about something
mm.
like that.
I totally agree. And in terms of COVID-19,
Yeah,
it's something that caught us all by surprise,
yeah.
and we're all at home due to it. How have you been keeping safe and mentally okay during this very difficult time? What have you
Well,
been doing to stay safe?
first I want to say that in Atlanta, it's sort of open right now.
Ah,
Atlanta, yeah.
uh,
So not sort of. It almost feels like when you go out there, it is wide open. I mean, people are
uh,
in restaurants, they're in stores. I mean, so it's pretty open here right now.
okay.
Okay, but I will
Uh,
tell you what I did when we were in COVID, when we were
mm,
homebound, right?
yes.
So in the beginning, I would have to say the first week it kind of felt fun, right? Because we were
Mm,
out
mm,
shopping for groceries and our
uh, uh,
pantry was empty. We were buying all kind of, junk food to eat, and
mm,
we were cooking every day. We were playing games, we were doing everything. Okay, that got boring after the first week, okay? Okay, after the
uh,
first
uh,
week, we're like, okay, now what we doing next? So the second week, We're
Mm-hmm.
walking around here like, okay, we're ready to go back to work. And everybody in their head is saying things like, okay, so next week, I think we'll be back to work in 2 weeks. Oh, I think we'll be able to go back out in 3. So everybody's trying to predict when we're going to get back to our lives, right? And everybody's watching CNN and it's saying, it's going to be June or it's going to be May and it's going to be June. And it's going to be, so everybody is like, what are we going to do? So I started to be a little bored being in the house because I too, I travel a lot for work
Mm-hmm.
and I am a worker bee. I like to work. That's what I do. And so by the third week, I said to myself, I got to get into the swing of things. Okay. So I need to
Mm-hmm.
wake up every morning and make my bed, put on some clothes
Uh-huh.
like I'm actually going to work, but I'm going to
Yes.
be actually going downstairs. So I was like,
Uh,
okay, so we got to figure this thing out. So I start
uh-huh.
getting dressed and go downstairs. And now, as time went on, I got into a whole routine. Every morning I wake up, I fix my bed like I'm really going to leave the house, go downstairs, start working in my home office. And I actually
Mm,
began to really like it. So
mm,
it actually worked out for me. I started handling my business at home. I would say I lost 3 weeks because the first 3 weeks I didn't
uh,
know what we were doing. After
yes,
that, I
yeah.
started working my businesses from home and learning how to make it work and using my social media platforms and using my YouTube and all of those
Mm-hmm.
things to make it work for me. And I actually like it. I actually liked it. So we were surviving. The only thing we weren't surviving was the kitchen because we were in the kitchen
Uh,
eating left and right. I mean, we walked to the kitchen 1,000 times, just to eat. But working, I think I found a rhythm and I think I'm surviving and
mm,
I'm doing pretty good. I am, by the way, going out in Atlanta now
uh-huh.
because we can go out. So
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to use precaution. I do anyway. I wear my mask. I freak out when somebody else doesn't have theirs on. I'm like, why are they talking to me without their mask on? You know? And I have on my gloves, and I can tell
Uh-huh.
you how many gloves I've thrown away. And I'm thinking this thing is going to get expensive because we're going to be wearing gloves
It
and
would.
throwing them away
Yeah.
a lot, right?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what you have to do. So, in all of our cars, I put these little trash bags in all of our cars.
Yeah.
And then I put these Clorox wipes in everybody's cars, gloves in everybody's cars, extra mask in everybody's cars. So it didn't
Mm.
matter which car we get in or who, nobody can say they didn't have anything to wipe their hands with,
Oh,
hand
yes. Yeah.
sanitizer in every car.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think now that we're open moving forward, I think it's all about proper hygiene. So you
Yeah,
just
that's
gotta,
true.
make sure you're washing your hands, wiping your hands, wearing your mask. When I get back in my car, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be like, "Woo, honey, I couldn't breathe." Seriously,
With
it
a
was
mask, yeah, it's
with the
quite crazy.
mask
Yeah.
on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
It
oh my
is.
God, this mask is whoa. It's a lot. It depends on the fabric of some of them. Some of them you
That's
really
true,
can't
actually.
breathe in them. And then some
Mm-hmm.
of them
Mm-hmm.
are really thin. And I'm thinking, is anything getting through this thing?
Because there's
So
supposed to be 3 layers, I think. Three
yes, they
layers of the
are.
mask.
But we've been wearing
Yeah.
the fashion ones. So I don't know how
I,
safe those
I
are.
I
Yeah,
did see that on your Instagram.
yeah,
So let's talk Real Housewives of Atlanta.
yeah.
It's number one of all the Real Housewives franchises.
Mhm.
Why do you think that is?
I think the Real Housewives of Atlanta has been number one for the authenticness. I think there's
Mm-hmm.
the women have been very authentic on the show. I think that we're very opinionated.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one of the things that make us very watchable. And I think the conflict as well, have
Mm-hmm.
drawn people to watch the show very early on when the show was on.
Mm-hmm.
I think we make people laugh,
Mm-hmm.
the things that we say. And I think that people are really interested in some of the things that we're saying and doing. And so I think it's just made us just be way more popular. I think we were popular from the moment we came out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in terms of conflict, is all the conflict real? I think a lot of people have questioned whether the conflict that we see on the show is real or is it manufactured?
No.
Is it real?
Well, now listen now, wait. I've always said the conflict was real, but recently I
Mm,
felt like some things have been manufactured that just didn't have to go there. But
mm,
the conflict that I've had, well, my feelings are real. How about that? My feelings are
Uh-huh,
real.
uh-huh.
Well, my feelings are just real. I'm just real with it. So I feel how I feel, and I never try to cover up how I feel on
Mm,
television. This is how I feel, and I know somebody can relate because somebody had to feel this way too.
hmm. And what would you say? So in terms of where the show is at and where you thought it would be, did you have an idea of where you thought the show would get to when you started? Because you're one of the OGs. You started with it from the start. What has
um,
become
it has become way more than I ever thought it would become. When I
mm,
first started
mm,
the show, I had no idea that the show would do as good as it has done. I had no
mm,
idea that it would last as long as it has lasted.
mm,
I'm happy that it has.
mm,
I had no idea that any of those things would be happening though. When we did the
mm.
show and we came out of the gate, we just did the show.
Yeah.
I don't even think we really. At least for me, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just being who I am.
Mm, mm, mm. And in terms of like, so the show has the idea of fun shade, right? Shade, fun shade, and reading each other. When does a shade or a read get too far?
They get too far all the time,
Mm.
probably every day. They get too far when you are. They get too far when you are. To me, when we first started, I think one of the things that people took to me from is, and I know this for a fact because I'm
Mm,
on social media like you. One of the things
mm,
I know that people loved about me were the one-liners, and it was nothing that I
mm.
ever. It was nothing I ever thought of or tried to do.
Yeah.
It just was a
Uh-huh.
natural thing. I just instantly came out with bam and bloop and just
Uh-huh.
saying stuff,
Uh-huh.
and people
Uh-huh. The
loved it.
thirst is real.
Yeah, the thirst
Uh,
is real. Just all I'm just saying stuff,
mm,
and I know that people love that about me because of all the gifs that I see all day long. But the shade gets really dark and nasty when it is
mm,
when you are hitting below the belt and saying things that are
uh,
just not necessary to say,
mm,
saying
mm,
things that doesn't make any sense to me to be saying
mm,
to do this show. I don't personally feel
mm,
that you have to do those things to be
mm,
a part
mm,
of this show. I do
mm,
think that people love to hear the fun shade, and it's good to read somebody every now and then. And but I think when people are saying things, excuse me, saying things really nasty, I
mm,
think that's when the fun shade becomes below the belt and it becomes
mm,
very dark. And that happens
mm,
often. And why that happens, I just think that some of these girls just think that that is necessary for them to do the
mm,
show. But I personally don't
mm,
think so.
mm. And you said, I saw somewhere, I read somewhere that you don't watch the show.
I
I
do
was
not.
surprised. Why?
I
Why
did
is
watch
that?
the show. I honestly watched the show for years. For years, I watched the
Mm,
show, and I would watch some of the other franchises. I loved New Jersey Girls when I would watch
mm,
it. Before I ever was a housewife, the first year I loved Orange
mm, mm,
County. So I would
mm,
watch those girls the first season I think of Beverly Hills I watched.
mm,
It just became too nasty for me. So
mm,
I didn't want to relive it. I already relive
mm.
it
Okay.
when it comes on and I
Mm,
get to relive the comments and things like that.
mm,
I
mm,
just didn't want to relive that over and over again. And as seasons went on, I felt more and more like a target, and I
mm,
felt
mm,
more and more like I was ganged up on. So I didn't want to
mm,
continue to watch that. I
mm,
didn't want to
mm,
continue to let that be in my energy because I
yeah.
know that it would just make me just appear something that I'm not. So
Mm,
I
mm,
just didn't want to
mm.
eat, sleep, and breathe it, if you will.
No, I get you. You left the show
Yes,
and you came back.
yes.
Why is that?
Well, when I left the show to go do other things.
Mm,
And I've always wanted to be a part of the show in some capacity. I
mm,
didn't have to be full time. And I think people know that I've said those things a million times. I mean, I could be full time, I could be a friend. And I feel like it all
mm,
is fine for me because I've done the show for so long. Um,
mm,
I just, I don't know. It's really difficult being on a show in an ensemble like this.
mm,
It has just been difficult.
mm,
So I left.
mm,
I came back because I feel like this is my baby. Like I started
mm,
this show, and that's when
mm,
I start to feel a certain kind of way. Is
mm.
I am. This is when my blackness show up because
Ah.
I'm
Mm,
about respect your, listen, this is something that I started. Respect
mm,
that. You know what I mean?
mm.
That does not mean bow down or any of those things. It just means
Yeah.
respect.
Mm-hmm. Mm,
And I started the show. Um, I feel like I have been here every season and I've given my blood out of my veins.
mm,
I feel like
mm,
I've shown up and I've participated and
mm.
um, I've done my part. I feel like I've carried
Yeah.
my weight,
Mm,
and
mm,
there are just things that just make me feel like, it makes me feel like I want to quit every week. you know.
mm.
But again, this is my baby, and I want it to be successful, and I want to see it go on. But I also want it to be fair treatment across the board.
Mm. So is that the reason why you left? Because I mean, a lot of people, I think, on our side, we're watching the reunion. I think we're on episode 3. So
What
on
season
episode
are
3,
you
you
in?
left.
Season 12? I mean,
12, yeah. We're
you're
in
in.
season 12.
Oh, you are. Okay. Mm.
Yeah, so literally around the same time with you,
Okay.
because I know yours aired 2 weeks ago, the final episode
Yes, we're
of
done.
season 12.
The reunion
Yes. So
aired.
what? So why did you leave the reunion, the part 3, and not come back?
I left at the end of part two. I was not
Why?
in. I
Why
was
was
not
it?
in part three at all. Okay.
Mm,
Because
mm,
again, we are talking about the very negative side of the show that I just don't
mm,
feel is necessary to do to
mm,
make a great show. It was just
mm,
too negative. One,
mm,
two, I felt
mm,
very ganged up on. And for all of you out there who can say
mm,
they don't know what ganged up on is, Google the definition of gang up. Gang up is more
mm,
than one
mm,
person on a person
mm,
at the same time.
mm,
George
mm,
Floyd was ganged up on.
mm,
So, no, he
mm,
was
mm,
physically ganged up on.
mm,
And I have felt
mm,
verbally ganged up on many
mm,
times,
mm,
and that is not fair to me. And I've asked
mm,
for that to not happen constantly, and
mm.
it has continued over and over again. Now, if you and I are battling verbally, you and I are
Yeah.
battling verbally. I can't say that
Mm, mm,
someone won't jump in and say something. I'm not saying that. But
yeah.
when it's
Mm,
three and
mm,
four people, and when this
yeah.
show has
Mm,
5 and 6 women on it who are
mm,
supposed
mm,
to be
mm,
showing their lives and their business and their
mm,
highs and their
mm,
lows,
mm,
why
mm,
am I being the only person attacked here? Why am I
mm,
the only
mm,
person that everything is being directed to? Okay.
mm,
Everybody on this cast is being paid. So everybody
mm,
needs to
mm,
carry their weight.
mm, mm,
Okay. I
mm.
don't think
You
it's
need to
fair
end the
to
check.
put the weight on the shoulders of one person. If I need
Mm,
to carry the weight of the entire show, then I need you to give me everyone's check. Okay. And I need you to be
mm,
fair about my check and my pay.
mm,
Okay. Since
mm,
I am
mm,
the one
mm,
that's constantly being attacked, I am the one that is always everybody's got to gang up on. And also, it's not fun being ganged up on. And the one thing I
mm,
can't
mm,
stand is for people to be like, "Oh, what? She wasn't ganged up on. She said this." I listen. I always can hold my weight. That's not a problem. But the gang up
mm,
part,
mm,
it's not a fair thing to do to somebody because
mm,
people,
mm,
when you constantly do that on television to one person, you may not understand.
mm.
It doesn't matter how tough they appear on the outside. You
Yeah,
don't know what you might be doing to them on the inside. You
inside.
also may not understand or know that you may be doing something very mental to them that you should, that I
Mm,
just don't think is fair to do. And it doesn't
mm,
matter the
mm,
age. As I've said to
mm,
many people, you wouldn't want your
mm,
child to go to school and 3 or 4 people are aiming their gun and saying all these nasty verbal
mm,
things
mm,
to them
mm,
constantly.
mm,
It's not a fair thing to do. It's not a right thing to do. So that's why I closed my computer. And looks like I
mm.
closed it at the right time. Black Lives
Ah,
Matter was the debate right after
ah,
that. My life
oh,
matter, honey. Okay.
yes, it does. So what did you say? Do you have a favorite season from the
Um,
show? Do you have one season who
Well,
you're like, which you're
understand
like,
this. Let me
this
say
is
this
favorite?
about this season. I didn't think this was a bad season for me. I honestly did
Uh-huh.
not. I did not think season 12 was a bad season for me.
Mm-hmm.
It may not have been the best of all of the seasons that I've been in, but it certainly wasn't a bad season for me. I felt like I wanted to come in and make amends.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, again, when I said to you earlier that there are people who are posting and talking about Black Lives Matter and they don't understand the
Mm-hmm.
message, and I said they need to
Mm-hmm.
understand the message. Okay, remember
Yes.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I felt like when I came back in season 12, there were some things that I just didn't understand. Like maybe I hurt
Mm-hmm.
someone's feeling and did not really
Mm-hmm.
understand how or why
Yeah.
I did that.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to come back in this season and make amends with people and apologize to
Mm-hmm.
those people I felt I owed an apology to and offer olive
Mm-hmm.
branches to people I felt I owed an olive branch to. And I don't think there's anything
Mm-hmm.
wrong with doing that. And so
Yeah.
once I was able to understand, I had a life coach that were explaining things to me. When I
To you. Yeah.
understood, like I said, understand the message. Once I
Yes.
understood what I needed to do, I came here to do the work that I needed to do. And I didn't have a problem
Mm-hmm.
with doing that. But it's
Mm-hmm.
very difficult doing something like that when you genuinely, because I'm the kind of person, if I feel I need to apologize to you, I will. And if I don't, I won't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and you ain't got to worry
Mm-hmm.
about trying to make me do it because I'm not going to do it if I don't want to. Okay. So,
Uh-huh.
for me
Uh-huh.
to really take the time out to understand what I needed to do, and I did it,
Mm-hmm.
and then to have people to act like what you did wasn't
Mm-hmm.
genuine enough was
Mm-hmm.
a problem for me, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't do things that aren't genuine because I don't do
Mm-hmm.
anything that I don't want to do, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I was doing what I felt needed to be done,
Mm-hmm.
and so
So, music.
music,
Come and get it.
come and get
Come
it,
and get it.
honey.
Tell me about it.
Yes,
Tell me about it. We
well,
we were surprised. Most people were surprised that Nene is now making music. Was it something you've always wanted to do?
I've been on Broadway and I've sung there, and I was in a show out in Vegas called Humanity, and
Hmm.
I've done Glee and all those things. So I like music. I like to sing.
Hmm.
I can't say I'm the best singer, but I can hold a tune.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I've been asked a lot of seasons to do a song. And I never wanted to do
Mm.
one because I thought so many housewives were doing them and they weren't doing them
Yes.
like seriously, like people
Uh-huh.
were taking
Uh-huh.
them for a joke.
Mm.
And I was in my house doing a scene with Greg, an anniversary scene where I was saying, "Come and get this honey," like and running through the house,
Ah.
"Come and get this honey."
Uh-huh.
And that's how we came up with doing a song for "Come and Get This Honey." Is because I was talking about "Come and Get This Honey" here. Now, when I got in the studio, I was introduced to Lady Luck, and once I got in the
Mm-hmm.
studio, I thought we were going to be singing, right?
Uh-huh.
She said to
Uh-huh.
me that you can rap. Let's do something different. Let's rap. Let's rap.
Mm.
And I
Mm.
was like, girl,
Mm.
now, I am not a rapper. So
Uh-huh.
she said, I can show you a few things and
Uh-huh.
you can do it. So she showed me a few things and I got in the studio and we did it. And I had so much fun doing it. I love it. I'm working on a remix right now with some special guests.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And we wanted to drop the remix by now, but we couldn't
Uh,
because of everything that's happening. We felt out of respect that we should hold off and wait a little bit. So
mm.
that's what we're
Mm.
doing. But I love Come and Get This Honey. Now, honey,
Mm-hmm.
HUNNI, is something I always
Yes.
say, and I like to spell
Uh-huh.
it with HUNNI
Yeah.
instead of spelling it
Uh-huh.
honey like honey you taste HONEY.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
love to say, yes, honey,
Uh-huh.
come get this honey. So
Uh,
here's the song, Come Get This Honey. And I'm saying a few things in there. I did have a writer. Um, some people asked me what was I throwing shade, I guess,
shade.
at
Mm-hmm.
some people. Of course. Why not? Why not? Why not,
Uh,
honey? As much shade has been thrown my way, why not throw some back? So
mm,
yeah,
mm.
I've thrown shade in the song. Yeah.
mm. And you've acted in there was Fighting Temptations, there was a New Normal, Glee, Chicago on Broadway. Are we going to see you acting more?
I sure hope so. I love to
Mm,
act, and I would love to continue to act. Yeah. So
mm,
hopefully, yes.
mm. So and there's someone who sent in a question saying a reader asked if you'd ever would you see yourself in a Tyler Perry movie?
Um, sure.
Mm.
Sure. Why
And
not?
and what would you say your dream role is, acting wise? What did you say your dream role would be?
Well, I think that, as an actress, so many people, you get stereotyped, you know,
Mm,
or put
mm,
in a box. And so
mm,
I think a lot of times when you're outspoken and opinionated, that people think that are the loud black woman, you know.
mm,
And so I would like to play something quite different from the loud black woman.
mm, mm,
I don't
mm.
mind being the loud black woman. Apparently, I must be her because people say it to me all the time. But I would like to do something very different, just something that people would
Mhm,
not expect me to be doing. Now, however, I do like comedy. I like to laugh.
mhm,
And so I would love to continue to do something comedic wise. I do love that. But outside of that, I love to do
mhm,
something different, something odd. I don't know exactly what that would be, but something that people would
mhm,
never think that I would never see her in that role.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
So how different is the Nene we see publicly
Hmm.
and the Nene the mother, Nene the wife, Nene the grandmother? How different are those two people?
I think very different.
Mm,
Um, I'm often out and people are constantly, they say to me all the time, like, first of all, I'm very private. And I don't
mm,
think that watching me on television that people would know that I'm private. My circle is
mm,
very small.
mhm,
I think I don't know if what people think in that area, but I'm private. I always say that I love my friends, and I think when the people watch the show, it almost comes off like I'm not a friend. And
mm,
um, I think I'm very different than what is seen on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't
mhm,
I love being private. I love to mind my own business. Like I don't care about what you're doing. Whatever you
mhm,
do, it's fine with me. Just leave me alone. You know
mhm,
what I mean? I love
mhm,
having my
mhm,
peace. So I don't think that all of those things are shown. I am a
mhm,
businesswoman and I like
mhm,
being a businesswoman.
mhm, mhm,
And once I had done an interview and I told somebody that I was a loner, and they said, "You're not a loner because a loner
mm.
wouldn't
I was
even
about to
be,
ask you that.
yeah, a
Yeah.
loner
Uh,
wouldn't even, have anyone sitting with them." I am somewhat of a loner, I would say. I do most
mhm,
things by myself, and I'm very happy
uh-huh.
with doing them by myself.
So you recently said you feel that within this group of housewives, you, and I'm putting you on the spot. Who
Okay.
would you nominate? Who would you nominate? And why?
I've gotten in trouble so many times nominating people that I just won't nominate nobody while Black Lives Movement right now. I'm just not gonna nominate nobody.
Uh,
But I will say this. No, I'm not gonna nominate anybody. That's all a
mm,
joke. But
mm,
um, I will say this.
mm,
We need a shakeup in the cast, and
mm,
I've said it many a times. I think, and as I said to you earlier, I don't think the
mm,
show should lie on one person's shoulder. I feel like
mm,
everybody that's being paid need to participate. No, I don't think participating in the reunion is participating. We shoot for months.
mm,
We shoot for months and you have to put in your work during that time. I don't think it's fair that you get to sit around all season long and then show up at the reunion and act like you secured a bag. Like I don't think that's cool. While
mm,
everybody else, so while I'm out here securing the show and the reunion, I don't think that's cool at all. So I think
mm, mm,
that we need new people on the show.
mm,
I also think that there are certain people or a certain person on the show that I believe will be the demise of the franchise because I don't
mm,
think all the nastiness. Listen, Things are changing. We're in a different time right now. I don't think people
Mm,
want to sit up and listen to all the nasty, hurtful things that you can say about one woman. I just don't think
mm,
anybody want to tune in to listen to all of that. I just don't think they do. So I think
mm,
that um, some things need to change, and
mm,
some cast
mm.
members need to change as well. It's getting stale. Bravo. Time to be fair.
Uh, uh, three of your favorite one-liners, your own. Which are the three that you use all the time or mostly overuse?
I'm sorry, say that again.
So three of your favorite one-liners. So you know
Oh,
you've got epic one-liners? Which one are your favorite?
Uh, I probably like well recently I've been saying I said when I like I always like blue. I always like blue because I feel like you can read a person with blue now blue, and get you together now blue. And the thirst is
Uh-huh.
real is everything. The thirst is
Uh-huh.
real because there's so many thirsty people out here. The thirst is real. Girl, bye. I could tell you all kind of stuff all day long.
Mm,
I mean,
mm.
the list goes on and on.
And who's the one person who can read you? Who's the one person who can say
Oh,
this can read, even in your personal life or just even outside of uh, media?
I've gotten read many times. I mean, I'm okay with getting read.
Mm,
I've gotten read many times.
mm,
Just don't be mad when I read you back. So I'm not saying I can't get read. I've gotten read plenty of times. Um, but I tell you the people that read me the best are my gay guy friends. They read me the
mm,
best. They always get me, they shut me up, but then I think of something and
uh-huh,
come right back and get them. But yeah, I can be read. Yeah, sure I can.
mm. So I'm just looking through here. I'm just now going through the questions from some of your fans.
Okay.
I know we're about to run out
Open a
of time
book.
here, so
So
I'm
I'm
just
an
going
open
to.
book. So just ask me whatever. Don't think too hard on it.
Yes. So someone is asking. Given Butter is asking, how is Greg doing?
Greg is doing really good. He's doing really well. We are opening another business. Oh my gosh, I don't know how many businesses we're going to have in the end. We are opening another business. So he's really busy with working on that business right now.
Mm. Um, the real law is asking. Please ask her if she can see herself squashing her issues with Kenya anytime soon.
Um, I actually, if you watch the show this season, I actually extended many olive branches to Kenya. So I feel like the
Mm,
ball is in her court. There's nothing else that she and I need to talk about. I know that. There's nothing else that we need to argue about. I know that. I did my part as I said I would. I extended olive branches. I made a public apology, and there's not much else that I can do. Now you can't continue to hold my feet to the fire. You can either move on or just we just don't have to say anything else to each other. I've done my part. So the ball's in her
mm,
court. So that will be a better question
mm.
for her.
Another question again is from the real law is asking, what do you think makes Portia a favorite fan? A fan favorite. Why do you think fans love Portia so much?
I don't know about fan favorite, but I know that
Mm,
she is. I think she's grown up. I think she's
mm,
grown up a lot. I think when she first came on the show, she was still trying to, find her way and find exactly where she fit in. And so she was saying and doing a lot of things that weren't right. But I think she's figured it out now. And I think that people like that.
mm. Have you ever been to South Africa? This is Theo Theon underscore Rena asking, have you ever been to South Africa?
South Africa, the entire cast of The
Mm,
Real Housewives of Atlanta visit South Africa, and we filmed in South Africa. I think that
mm,
may have been season five, maybe something like that. Season five or six.
mm,
You guys should go back and look. We're in Africa filming.
mm. Um, when, oh yes, what makes Nene Leaks happy on the Real Housewives of Atlanta? What makes you happy on the show?
What makes me happy on the show is when we're all
Mm,
laughing. When we're all
mm,
laughing and all getting along. That makes me happy. And when Nene is not
yes.
a constant target.
Mm. And what's the best advice you've ever received? What's the best
Um,
advice you'd say you've ever received?
oh my God, I've received so much advice in my lifetime. I mean, I can't even. Oh well, maybe I'll say my aunt. My aunt is 93 years old, and she
Mm,
raised me. And one of the things my aunt has always told me, and it has really, I know people tell you all this stuff about their careers and stuff. Mine has told me to always be myself, be true to who I am, and
mm,
that has been the best thing for me, is for me to remain true to who I am, because I honestly cannot be anybody else. And there's been times where, you tried to change a little bit, like try to change how you are or the way you speak or the way you, whatever. And I think one of the best things my aunt ever put in me was to be who I am, be my true, authentic self. And that
mm.
works for me.
The biggest false rumor you've ever heard about yourself?
The biggest what now?
False rumor you've ever heard about yourself?
I've heard so many false rumors about myself. Oh my God. Let me see. What have I heard that's been? Well, I've heard everything is false so far. Find something that I thought was like a big false rumor. Oh, I don't know. I guess that me and Greg have an open marriage.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are asking about that.
Yeah, I guess that is something that's false. We don't have an open marriage. We can have one though if we want to. I don't understand why everybody is so concerned. So we have just kind of played into the whole thing of, having an open marriage. That I don't think that people. There's been times when and I weren't even together, and people don't even know. So I just assumed that they
Mm,
just assumed that we were having an open marriage. Maybe that was the case. I mean, I don't know.
mm. And the one question you're tired of being asked.
Tired of being asked. Well, I get tired of people asking me, "Is this show scripted?" I hear
Mm,
that. I get that all day long. When people are talking to me and they said, "I know you from that show," and I know some of those things are made up, and I'm always looking at them like, "What is made up, ma'am?" You know, and so I get tired of hearing that. Yeah, that's a good one.
mm. And what are you most proud of? What are you most proud of?
Um, hmm. I, I'm very proud of. I'm proud of my children. I'm proud of the life I've
Mm,
been able to give them, and I'm
mm,
I'm proud of being able to provide for my children.
mm,
Um, oh my God, I'm proud of so much. I'm so proud of my health and my wealth.
mm,
I'm
mm,
so proud of so many dang old things. Um, oh gosh, I'm proud of my career. I'm proud of myself.
mm.
Oh, geez, the list goes on and on.
So, Kutrano Arthur is commenting. He says we want swag uh, business in South Africa, swag boutique in South Africa.
Yeah. What did you say? Say that again. I'm sorry.
Arthur Kutrano is asking, are we going to get swag in South Africa?
Oh, that will be hard because I'm
Mm,
very hands-on with my businesses, all of them,
mm,
and I do visit all of my stores, and I'm there for days in. I'm flying in and out, watching those stores. Africa would be very tough for me to do because I want to be able to see it. I need to put my eyes on it and touch it. And the only thing I could think of in order to have a swag boutique there is to let somebody, buy into the franchise and, and put a swag boutique there or something like that. And let me just
mm,
provide the stuff to another person that want to use the name and use the brand. And
mm,
we ship some of the clothes there, but really, someone else is the owner and I'm only seeking a piece of it or something because I wouldn't be able to
mm,
fly there. And I think in order to have a successful business, you need to be there. You got to
mm,
be able
mm,
to check it. You got to be able to check on your business. It just can't work if
mm,
you don't do that.
mm. And the funniest fan encounter you've ever had?
The funniest fan encounter.
Mm,
I have a lot of fan encounters, by the way. I actually
mm,
was going to my studio yesterday. When I got there, was a box at my door, and a fan had sent me all kinds of stuff, masks, and
uh,
they sent me some of their products. So, um, I have fans I encounter that cry. I've had fans that I encountered that just start screaming, "Oh my God, it's Nene!"
Uh,
So I've had a lot of fan encounters, and all of them have been great. When the person see me and they cry, it really, I don't even know what to do or say. I'm just like, why are you
mm,
crying? Stop it. So I've
mm,
had people to do all
mm,
kinds of stuff. So all of my encounters have been good, and I've had a couple of bad fan encounters as well. So
mm.
I've had them all.
Uh, so,
Yeah.
so you are a businesswoman. You're a reality show star. What's the next dream? What's the next dream that you're chasing?
Um, I'm a serial entrepreneur, as I was just telling you, we're starting another business.
Mm,
I love being an
mm,
entrepreneur. I love knowing
mm,
about new business where we can make money. I love working with all these entrepreneur women of ladies of success because they teach me about business.
mm,
They tell me, about business a lot. So I really, that is an area that I really want to go to the next level in. I always
mm,
admire Magic Johnson. He
mm,
obviously played in the NBA and he became this amazing serial entrepreneur. And I would like to be the female Magic Johnson. I love different businesses. I talk to women all day long about different businesses. So I love it. So I really love to really go to the next level in entrepreneurship.